Today I'm reviewing Bugonia, which is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. It is about two conspiracy theorists who abduct a CEO of a big pharma company, convinced that she is an alien from the species Andromedans. Jesse Plemons plays the leader of the two conspiracy theorists. He is obsessed with bees and believes that the aliens Emma Stone is a part of are the ones responsible for the death of so many bees, and wants to use this CEO as a bargaining chip on the emperor of the alien race to get them to evacuate Earth once and for all. This picture is a savage satire looking to examine the behaviors of groups of people like Lanthimos does in almost all of his films. And like his other films, there is a constant seething dread that something is going to explode at any given moment. If there is one thing that Lanthimos does great in all of his films, he is able to build that tension organically to a boiling point, and it is no different in Bugonia. He is also very good at conveying the contrasting personalities in this film between Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. One is very unassuming in the outside world. He works in a box shipping warehouse and seems to keep mostly to himself. A very unassuming performance by Plemons in my opinion. Whereas Emma Stone is high class, privileged, but always wants to inform her employees that they have the right to leave for the day at 5:30 if they choose to. The dynamic between these two is very well done. Emma Stone, I think, is incapable of giving a bad performance these days, especially when she is teamed up with Lanthimos. Her line delivery is high fluent and dominant in her persona, and it adds to the comedy. Plemons is great here as well, though. After the abduction begins, we see the power dynamic shift where Plemons is the one in control, and Stone is the one who is trying to weasel her way out of the situation. The comedy this picture is aiming for is pure black, and through the first act, I was hooked and laughing at how preposterous some of the scenarios are. Plemons and his cousin, the other culprit in the kidnapping, shave her head so she can't use her hair follicles to contact her fellow Andromedans. Just straight funny material here. The aspect ratio of the film took me some time to get used to because I thought it was in 4:3 initially, but it is actually shot in 151 and in VistaVision. I assumed to create the style that matches the story of the film about it maybe or maybe not being about aliens who want to destroy the world. Now, I can see the themes and satire in this picture regarding class warfare, post-COVID jabbing, how people live in echo chambers, and once we build our world around those echo chambers, we don't want to hear anything else other than those to validate our own opinions. But for me, the picture takes this amazing premise that I was on board with for the first 30 minutes or so, and stretches its one-note idea for far, far too long. The second act is bogged down by so much wheel spinning that doesn't really advance the plot very much, and it ends up becoming languid for almost an hour of the runtime. At first I was invested in this game of human chess between Plemons and Stone, but after a while it became monotonous and I felt it had nothing of interest to say. This may be due to the fact that many of the themes of this film draw comparisons in my mind to Ari Aster's film Eddington, and I think that film is so much more fleshed out and makes a statement with such a ferocity that anything that tackles a similar message is going to come off as less impactful in my opinion. Bugonia isn't going for a wide of a scope as Eddington is, but the themes are so similar I can't unsee them. The satire in Eddington just felt sharper, more topical, and wasn't afraid to take the piss out of everyone on every side of the argument. With Bugonia, I don't know if Lanthimos wants to take a side or fully shred all sides of the conflicts. He keeps it kind of in a gray area. We get some reveals in the middle section about Plemons' past and what his true motivations are, and it just felt like it came out of the blue and wasn't compatible with everything we knew about his character up until that point. I was hoping that he was just going to be some kind of conspiracy theorist nutjob that the film was going to poke fun at, while also commenting and making fun of the big pharma companies that Emma Stone's character represents. Instead, it just seems to just make the jokes singular, and in a film that is 2 hours long, it drags the satire beyond its breaking point, and it's unfortunate. Also, there is a sequence involving a bottle in the trunk of someone's car that had me rolling my eyes because of how stupid that person became. I know it's part of the satire, but it was way too on the nose for me in my opinion. Once the third act begins, I was fully hooked again once there is a scene in a basement involving the scene of the cousin of Plemons and between him and Emma Stone. And the last 30 minutes, while I loved it from just a pure entertainment level and a what the hell am I watching kind of way, it felt like it was sort of an afterthought to the themes the rest of the movie was going for. I love the ending as a standalone, and I thought it was fun, hilarious, and even a little sardonic. But in relation to the rest of the picture, once there is a moment in a closet, I felt everything after that only was there to give a definitive answer to something that really didn't need an answer. I just unfortunately think that this film is just not as sharp as some of the films I think are Lanthimos' best works, such as Poor Things, The Favorite, and The Lobster, which may secretly be my favorite film of his. Bugonia has two amazing performances and plenty of chuckles in it, but a story that seems to want to tackle ideas it doesn't have the complexity to fully explore in ways that can match how sardonic it is trying to be. I don't think this is a bad film at all, don't get me wrong. I just think compared to the high bar Lanthimos has set over the course of his career, I feel this is a slight step back from his previous films, and is one of his weaker films that he's made in the last 10 or so years, in my opinion. So I can't recommend it for a full theater price, but I can recommend it for a stream. I know that this film is the wet dream of a cinephile, and it has some amazing stuff in it, but the end result comes out of some kind of hodgepodge mess that has a middle section that borders on being too languid. And I think I am in the minority with this take, but I just don't see it with this one. I guess Ari Aster just spoiled me this year with his much superior work. I give Bugonia 2.5 stars out of 4. I wouldn't be surprised if Emma Stone gets an Oscar nomination for this picture, and the music, which I didn't even talk about, is such a beautiful work and punctuates the playfulness of the film so well, but the middle drags so much that it ends up becoming a disappointment for me. A mixed bag to be sure, which I never thought I would say about a Lanthimos film. And that is my review. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.